Hey, what's up? It's Audra. I sure hope you're enjoying your quarantine in your own personal space. I wanted to talk to you today about flat ironing. Surely it must be getting close to being hair washing day for most of you. Mine was yesterday. I like it. Anyway, one thing that clients always ask me about is my flat iron and what they think that they should get and which is the right flat iron for them. And personally, I pretty much stick to Babyliss brand tools, but it's not necessarily the brand that you're looking for. What you're actually looking for, let me get my flat iron to show you, is you're looking for the width of this. You can get a wide flat iron if you feel like you have more control over it, like this. It can be double this width. But what you really want to get is this part to be as narrow as possible so that you can get as close to the head as you possibly can with the tool. So let me turn my flat iron on. And so the next thing I want to talk to you about during this flat ironing tutorial is your heat protectant. It's very, very, very important if you're going to flat iron your hair or blow dry or curl or whatever you're going to do. It's really, really important that you use the thermal heat protectant. And so I prefer this one. I don't know if you can see it good. There it is. Right here on the screen. Olaplex, there we go. This is the number 7 bonding oil. I like to use it because it protects up to 3 heat processes, and I know that about this oil. And so for me, I consider the first heat process to be the blow drying process. And then the next heat process would technically be 2 heat processes, and I'm going to show you why in just a few minutes with my tutorial. But that would be 3 processes just with a blow dryer and a flat iron. So I know that the next day when I go to apply this, because whether I apply it the first day when my hair is wet after I get out of the shower, well, damp, not wet, but then I would apply this like the next morning before I go to do any thermal styling to my hair, and that begins to protect it again because I already ruined all my opportunities during my first heat process. I guess I didn't ruin it, but I used them all up. I used all my free cards. So anyway, the next thing I'm going to talk to you about is, let's bring this doll over here. This is a pivot point doll. These ones are super cool. They're already divided in quadrants when you order them, and it's different colors, so you're supposed to try to match it up. This is a really old one, so she has a lot of different colors now. But what I wanted to talk to you about it was when you go to section your hair to do a flat iron, you should really section it into quadrants for real maximized control. And the way you would do that is from the front of your head, above your nose, to the back of your head. And you may not be able to get perfect if you're doing it at home without a mirror and you're not a professional. You can get close. But then this quadrant here, this is where even stylists make the mistake, is if you lay a comb on the top of your head, wherever the flat part is at, that's the top. And that should be your top point of your quadrant. And it should come down to right at the highest point of the ear. You can see it on the mannequin too, just like that. And so ultimately the whole section like this would be the quadrant. Now when I flat iron, I like to section it with the crown out because we want to give that volume, unless you're like me and you like flat hair right here, which I do, but most people don't want volume up there, so I section this part out so we can over direct it and give it as much elevation as possible during the flat iron. So here we go. Let me get you started here. Where can we get you? What's the best? Let me do this. I'm gonna adjust the camera for us. Let's see. And we're gonna kind of get started here. Let's see. There we go, like that. So, what I would do is I would take my Olaplex and run it through my hair here. Always start at the bottom. We don't need really oil at the top. Our head naturally does that for us. We want to keep our hair. So if this is a whole quadrant, I would do the whole thing. And then I would take a comb and just comb it through so that I know that the distribution is even with the thermal protectant oil. Some people use Brooklyn Bombshell. I don't like when the hair is too wet. Oh, I can hear a motorcycle driving by really fast. Good times, buddy. Quarantine fun. Okay, so the sectioning of this should be really thin. If you can see how thin it is, it's maybe like 1/8 of an inch thick. When you flat iron, unlike when I gave my curl tutorial where the iron is always held in a vertical position, I'm always going to make my slices and keep my iron in a horizontal position for flat ironing. Now here is the tip to keep, so now imagine we've blow dried. Now we have our first process of heat done. This is why our second and our third heat application process are done each time we do a flat iron. I'm going to show you how to do it, and this is going to get you the maximized smoothness because you're going to take smallest sections. That's where people always make the biggest mistakes. They take bigger sections because they want to hurry up through it, and then they can't figure out where their hair isn't smooth. And ultimately, if you section it and you do it thin and strategically, it goes really fast. So, but I'm going to show you guys in slow-mo so you can kind of get the idea. So I'm going to take this iron, I'm going to put it on your hair. Then I'm going to take this comb and put it right behind it. And then halfway down, I'm going to take the iron off and I'm going to place it behind the comb, and we're going to go straight down. See how smooth her hair got doing that? Let's see if you can see. That was all it really needs. We shouldn't be going over a hair like this again and again and again. We should not. That's a big no, 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 no. We don't want to do that. What we want to do is make sure that our heat is not being applied more than necessary to our hair, because after a while that heat protectant is only going to do so much good. Not to mention, we're just frying our hair, and we don't really need to do that. If we just do it this way, it's literally 2 swipes and we're done. So I'll show you again. So I combed it. I put my flat iron. I put my comb. I put my flat iron behind my comb. Boom. Smooth. We shouldn't have to do it again. That should get it every time. Let's see, I'll do one more for you. I said that should be able to kind of see through it. That's how you know you don't have too much hair. It's not very much. It seems like not a lot, but we're gonna comb it out first to keep it smooth. We're gonna go through it. And put your comb up, and you're gonna go through it a second time. And that made the third heat application. Now that's how we know our Olaplex is protecting our hair through each process. And it also keeps it really smooth. So I'm gonna do it again. Don't get cheap either. Don't be trying to fast forward it because you feel like this last piece could be done in one, because then it gets too thick and then it doesn't look smooth. And the whole point is that you're trying to smooth out your hair. So, do it once. Put the comb behind it. And then smooth it. That's the third time. Bam, look at that. Like butter, like silk. right? Nice and straight. And I mean, she doesn't have the curliest hair, obviously. I tried to pick a doll that had kind of like wavy craziness going on. Like, she might have straight hair, but she's bedhead, or this could be a day old, already flat ironed hair. But anyway, I don't have a curly hair doll right now. I should buy one of those, huh? Okay. Bam. Okay, so now we've flat ironed all that, and now we're at the crown of the head. So, I'm gonna go ahead, and I want you guys to see how we're gonna do the crown. Okay, so this is her crazy doll head. What we're gonna do for this is we're gonna take it, we're gonna section out our section. But when we clip it this time, we're gonna take this top clip and we're gonna clip it all the way to the other side of the hair. So it's out of the way. And now we have this section of hair, what we're working with, and then we have that really flat hair already. And what we're gonna do here, if we don't pull the doll head off of the mannequin stand, clients' heads don't ever pull off. Anyway, we're gonna take this and we're gonna kind of like over direct it at first. Okay, and then we're gonna take the comb. Can you see what I'm doing? Yeah, you're gonna take the comb like this, and you're gonna take the iron behind it, and you're gonna over direct it and pull it straight out. And that is gonna give you, see how that gives us a little bit of volume in there, right here? So then we're gonna do our next section. And we're pretty much just gonna do exactly the same thing. We're gonna section it out. We're gonna take this hair, because even if the other side is already smoothed out, it's okay because we're just clipping on a nice little smooth part over here. We're keeping it flat. This is that hair now that we took down. Okay, a little snaggy there. We're gonna take our iron and we're gonna really over direct it. And then we're gonna take our iron again and we're gonna smooth this out straight so we have straight ends. And I feel like a little extra, we can kind of take it. We don't have to go crazy, but we don't really need. See how that's giving her like that nice little bump you guys always want to have right here, that little lift. And then we'll do like 2 more sections like that. Let's see here. Flatten that out. So we're getting the wild part. She looks wild. She slept on the top of her head like she was break dancing last night, obviously. All right, so the more we get up to the top, the more we want to really try to push that base and get that volume in there. Okay, and I lost my hair. Okay, so we're gonna do that again. Really get that volume, get that comb straight to get those ends straight. And that gives us a really nice volume. You can see that. See how much volume she gets? See how much we get a lot of volume when we do it this way. And we're not going over and over and over and over the hair because that's really not very good for it. So this is gonna be like our last piece. And we're just gonna take it as far over as we can. You don't have to go all the way, you can go like halfway or something. But typically you would do it on your own head, so it's a little easier. If you're a client, then if you're a stylist, hopefully you'll be smart enough to put your chair lower, but anyway, here is her beautiful hair. See all that volume and straight, so nice. And we didn't over process it with the flat iron. So hopefully some of these flat iron tips will be useful to you. And just let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for tuning in with my flat iron tutorial today. And we hope that you'll tune in next time. Thanks.